You're done so soon? That was quick. I would have expected the filming of that particular scene to take at least another half-hour, considering the nature of the material. Judging from the schedule, looks like the rest of filming for today will be focusing on the supporting cast. I suppose that's a wrap for both of us, at least until we resume next week. Surprised to see me still on set. Yes, I suppose it has been a few hours since we got through my scenes for the day. Well, this is also my trailer, is it not? I have every right to be here as long as I choose. Perhaps if the budget were higher, I could have had my own, if it bothers you so. But alas, it appears that you're stuck having me around. Not bothered sharing a trailer with me. You might very well be the first budding starlet to ever say such a thing. Even I demanded my own trailer at your age, and the crew would scurry to accommodate. Although it helped that back then I was the most sought-after actress in Hollywood. Yes. I suppose you did gush about being a fan of my work on the first day of filming. Everyone says the same regardless of whether they have watched my movies or not, so I had assumed that was mere pleasantry on your part. You've seen my films, then. And what would you say is your favorite? Well, no one ever talks about that film. Smaller budget, much like this one, a courtroom drama. It didn't make a resounding splash at the box office like we had hoped, and the reviews were mixed at best. But I do recall it being one of my grittier roles. Very different from the typical romantic ingenue parts I was known for at the time. As an actor, it is always the goal to portray a role that defies expectations. Playing the same type of character over and over again, well, that is a prison for a serious actor. Yes, I remember well. The critics begrudgingly praised my performance and yet belittled my choice to go out of my comfort zone. As if that's not what acting is. You really are a fan, then. Well, I apologize for not taking your comments seriously. Not that it would have changed our interactions prior to now, but it is quite nice to know there are people out there who still genuinely enjoy my filmography. I see. I would never have known you've been nothing but professional. I'm glad that you were that excited to co-star alongside me, and honored that you view me in such high regard. I've seen your work as well, you know. I have to say I am impressed. I don't make such comments lightly either. I had my doubts, but it has been a pleasure to work with you thus far. We come back to this. Given what we just conversed, you ask why I'm still here out of genuine concern, I take it? And again I say, there is no particular reason. Perhaps, my dear colleague, you should tend to your own affairs and stay out of mine. And why are you sitting down next to me with such an expectant look on your face? Do you believe I will confide in you? There is nothing to confide. Well, yes, normally I do leave set immediately when my scenes are finished, but... Of course. We have been trying to handle this quietly, but of course, the press would have caught wind of this. I'm surprised my manager didn't think to tell me. Perhaps thought she could do damage control before I noticed. This is a recent development, I take it? Yes, so everyone must know. No wonder our director was acting so peculiar today. She normally is so brusque, but today's been treating me as though I'm made of glass. It's been most irritating. And don't even get me started on the crew. You haven't treated me any differently. Why? You knew I wouldn't want anyone's pity. You would be correct. However, I don't believe I am nearly as strong and unyielding as you give me credit for, sweet thing. Not by a long shot. If you followed my career, then I'm sure you know of my husband. Well, about to be ex-husband, no. Our relationship has been deemed a Hollywood fairy tale due to the amount of time we've been married. I know from an outward perspective we have seemed perfect. And it was perfect for a while. We met on the set of an action feature he was directing, and within a year we were married. In those first few years he was so charming and kind. But as the years passed, he became disinterested, harsh and belittling. Not the man I had married. Or perhaps the same man all along. Only now showing his true colors with the onset of my fading youth. I discovered him one day making his own private little film in our bedroom with some B-list blonde, and I immediately walked out and filed for divorce. It has been messy and long. You don't realize just how extraordinarily taxing divorce is until you're in the midst of one. I just needed some time to myself, away from home. I don't know why I'm telling you all this. I'm not looking for sympathy in regards to my loveless marriage. And you certainly have better things to do than listen to me prattle on about my troubles. You certainly are very considerate. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. I've seen how attentive you are when it comes to the feelings of cast and crew members. It's rare to see someone in this town caring so genuinely about others. And why are you getting embarrassed all of a sudden? Of course I notice you. It's impossible not to. But yes, perhaps you're right that keeping this all bottled up will not benefit me in the long run. He wants full custody of our daughter. His argument is that I don't get enough consistent work anymore to support her upbringing, whereas his directing career is as lucrative as ever, if not more so. Oh, he's full of it, of course. I have more than enough to support her. He's simply being a vindictive little man who wants to see me deprived of what I hold dear. Obviously, I haven't let that slide. It's been a hassle, but we've settled on joint custody. At the end of the day, I will not be like him and selfishly keep my child from one of her parents. The divorce in itself will already alter her life enough. Now all that's left is to finalize the paperwork next week, and I will be free of him. For the first time in 15 years. And you know, aside from all this, the worst part is that in my silly, shallow brain, I find myself ruminating on his less than pleasant critiques on my person. That I'm washed up. An actress past her prime, a has-been. A pale imitation of what I once was, in looks and in skill. It shouldn't affect me as much as it does, not when there are more important things to concern myself with, but it's all nothing I haven't told myself prior. That's the kicker, I think. And I appreciate you saying so. It is kind of you to be so outraged on my behalf. But the facts speak for themselves, I fear. All of my recent films have done poorly. Flops, as they call them now. Hollywood has always been hungry for youthful celebrities and keen to toss aside those who have aged, and never have I felt this more keenly than I do now. I suppose I foolishly thought I would be the exception. Service of the ego is the first step towards the downfall of man. This film, this beautiful story we are telling, is what I consider the culmination of my life's work. My last hurrah, if you will. I believe it will either make me or break me. And if the latter, well, I suppose my soon-to-be ex-husband will have been correct. So, those are my musings. If you think less of me because of them as either fan or colleague, I can't say I would fault you for it. But I do appreciate you being so willing to listen. Oh, whatever are you grabbing my hand so fervently for? I wouldn't say I'm being too hard on myself, just realistic. Fine, if you insist, then I will listen to what you have to say. I did talk your ear off for quite some time. Well, I'm glad my acting still inspires you, and that you feel you have learned much from our scenes together. I admit it's heartwarming to see how vehement you are that I'm not a has-been. Although I believe saying I'm the greatest actress of my generation may be going a bit too far. You really think my performance in this will get me an Oscar nomination? Well, unlikelier things have happened. I guess we shall see. You're not done. What other words of comfort can you possibly have for me, my dear colleague? Oh, sexy. No one has called me that in some time. Really? Women see me as a queer icon. Whatever for? Oh, I had no idea. No. Me? I was your celebrity crush? Well, that's aged like fine wine. Oh. I'm flattered. For someone so young and beautiful, and with not only talent and brains, but an abundance of heart, to say all these things. Thank you. Really, you are a lovely girl. You're still holding my hands, you know. Now you're just being impertinent. I think they're sufficiently warm now, thank you very much. This may be forward of me, and silly, but would you say I'm still your celebrity crush, by any chance? I see. That explains quite a bit. And here I thought, old and starved for affection that I am, I was being ridiculous and getting too caught up in our on-screen chemistry. Yes, I am. Don't try to argue with me on this. Being middle-aged here is like being decrepit. That's nice. The way you're rubbing your thumb on my palm. It's comforting. Oh, no, I've been attracted to women before. Hard not to be when you're surrounded by unbearably gorgeous actresses and models. But I've never done anything with a woman. Prior to marriage, I was too focused on my career to look at my peers that way. I got married when I was 25, about the same age you are now, and I just never thought about it too much after that. Not even in light of everything that's happened as of late. Just with the divorce and acting and being a mother to my child, I never really thought seriously about exploring that side of myself. Oh, well, I wouldn't be opposed to exploring with you. It's embarrassing to admit, but I've been having a difficult time maintaining my composure around you. Especially as of late. If I have ever appeared cold towards you because of it and rebuffed your attempts at friendliness, I do apologize. It's all just been a little overwhelming for someone of my age to be experiencing this, not to mention with everything else going on. Oh, God, this is so absurd. I feel like a schoolgirl with a playground crush. And on someone so much younger than me. Maybe I really am a cougar. Don't laugh at me. It's a genuine concern. I take it all back. You're beastly, simply incorrigible. You want me right now in this trailer to make me feel as beautiful as how you see me. God, you're so earnest and sweet. I am tired of constantly denying myself from what I think I no longer deserve. I'm about to rid myself of a relationship with someone who makes me feel utterly worthless. And goddammit, I want to walk away from him with my head held high. Yes, I want to experience being intimate with a woman. With you. With someone who cares for me beyond surface level. Someone I can't deny I am deeply attracted to.